Watchdogs Legion happens to be the first from the series that I've played. If I had to describe it, it's an open world where all of the missions and interesting bits occur within specific buildings or city blocks. You can play as whoever you please, and all of the characters you recruit off the streets have different perks and weaknesses. Missions typically involve reaching a certain spot within a secret underground base of some sort, and you can achieve this either by physically entering the building or by using drones, cameras and spider bots. Normally, the best approach requires several of these. I really got a Deus Ex vibe from this game, though the humour in this game is a lot more tongue-in-cheek. Both these series are based around a horrifying direction that future technologies might choose to go, but while in Deus Ex it's all about how corporations have more power than the government, in Watch Dogs it's about how the people have more power than those corporations. I have no doubt this game knows how ridiculous it is that your character can casually hack anything they please using their phone, from roadblocks to the cars themselves. Some games get bogged down by trying to explain themselves, but Watch Dogs is happy just to let you roam a world where everybody is just one mission away from being a master hacker, ready to take down a corrupt government. It takes it all in its stride, smirking all the way. And the game isn't shy of cracking some literal jokes either. Some of these jokes are laugh out loud funny.
That's one criminal scraped, now let's give their friend a good scraping too, and then maybe their mum. No one will be left unscraped, no one!
But most, if you're English, you'll hear them, you'll nod to acknowledge you heard it, and then you'll never speak of those jokes again. I liked the setting. It was refreshing to play a game set in London, and they've done a great job of making it look right. The ray tracing may add nothing to the gameplay, but it turns out that a city with all of its reflective windows everywhere is a great place to use the technology. The novelty of checking out the reflections didn't tire out, even as I approached the end of the campaign. The game has a very open, very airy feeling to it. It's like the opposite of Half-Life Alyx in that way. That game forced you down claustrophobic corridors and through small gaps. But Watchdogs Legion embraces open spaces, letting you run around the tops of skyscrapers, letting you dive off the tallest of ledges, and letting you ride transport drones to grant you a level of vertical freedom that few games dare to offer. I'd almost say the game is too generous. It opens up to you early on, and I remember asking, is that it? When I saw how few gameplay features there were in total. But the beauty of this game is in familiarising yourself with all of them and then in choosing the best ones for the job. Though the experience is quite forgiving and it will let you limp through, even if you choose poorly. For instance, everybody you recruit has different abilities and perks. This is to encourage you to choose the right operative for the mission that you're setting off on. But I didn't bother doing this. I got a few agents early on and stuck to them, since I found their suppressed weapons or automatic rifles to be far handier than some niche hacking perk or unique melee attack, which is what most people seem to get. I don't regret sticking to just a few people actually. I grew rather fond of these few operatives as the game progressed. I liked them enough that I didn't mind occasionally having to rescue one of them if they got captured. But yeah, the item and agent nuances were things I didn't notice until later on, by which point I knew enough about the game that I didn't need to exploit them fully anyway. The missions you do are mostly forgettable. They're just there as an excuse to visit a certain location and to engage in the gameplay loop. Most of these are a generic case of breaking and entering, but from time to time there are some one-off missions which try something a little different. Like one where you command a drone so small that you can explore the inner workings of a processor, or ones where you get your main gameplay stripped away, forcing you to make do with what little it gives you to work with. All in all, there are a lot of places to visit and a lot of missions to complete, but I feel like the game could have done a better job of separating them into separate genres, like the different characters in GTA do with their missions. And I also think it would have been cool for the game to have built up as it progressed, unlocking more powerful characters and bigger and better missions. The game gives you too much too soon, and then it's a case of grinding through all the content to the end. Maybe it does get harder, but I didn't notice this. I think they should have added leveled zones to the city, where some areas are challenging even at the end of the campaign. As it is, you're just dashing about all over the place, and the regions of the city have no significance other than to slow you down by forcing you to travel across them in one way or another. In a way, I feel Watchdogs Legion is too much of a good thing. The missions all remind me of the greatest moments in Deus Ex for me. The Palisade Bank, for instance. There must be a dozen places in this game which are exactly like that. And I love the Palisade Bank from Deus Ex. It's hard for me to describe what it is about these scenarios that I enjoy. I think it's the novelty of being somewhere I shouldn't be, about outsmarting the enemies and security systems, and about feeling in control of a situation that, when I stop and look at it, is actually really dangerous for me to be in. And while I'd love to give specific examples in Watch Dogs where it all came together and clicked for me, I just can't because I'd end up describing the bit of wall I was hidden behind when this dawned on me, or how I was marvelling at the sun shining through a window when all these gameplay mechanics came together in a fleeting yet beautiful way. So yeah, the game as a whole is solid but not spectacular, but there are moments here and there where I realise that it's exactly the sort of gameplay that I want from a game. And in those moments I suddenly remember that I'm really enjoying myself. But I think the impact of these occasions is lessened because Palisade Bank style heists are all you do in this game. I ended up taking it for granted, grinding through high security bank after high security bank, simply to progress further in the game. The tools you have at your disposal are powerful. The Spiderbot can be used as a spare life, since it can do almost everything your character can. You can also hack dangerous drones and they'll mow enemies down for you. You can jump between CCTV cameras as quickly as you please, mapping out even the biggest of the underground layers in just a matter of seconds. And there is one type of drone that you can stand on as you fly it about, which proves to be even more powerful than you might think it is. Considering that many missions involve reaching the rooftops, you can cut all this off simply by flying across London on a drone from mission to mission. It's a novelty for a game to give you this much power, but it ultimately undermines the gameplay by simply being a bit too powerful. I commend the game for trying to avoid combat. Killing people isn't a big part of this game, it's more about punching people or tasering them, or avoiding combat entirely, which helps distance Watchdogs from the GTA series, which it will no doubt be compared to. That being said, you can still shoot people, and once you get automatic or suppressed weapons, it's too easy to bypass the clever traps and espionage by simply storming the objectives, all guns blazing. Towards the end of the campaigns, I ended up doing this just to save a few minutes per mission. The lives of the guards be damned. Having now finished the game, I don't feel too tempted to revisit Watchdogs Legion anytime soon. I've had my fun from it, and looking back I can recall some specific moments and locations which conjure up fond memories for me. The game is a good choice if you want a casual experience that lets you jump in and out of missions in a matter of minutes with no major lasting repercussions. It makes you feel powerful, and it touches on the aspects of games like Hitman and Deus Ex that I love those series for. Watchdogs Legion is a solid sandbox game. Its setting is a refreshing break from all those American-themed sandboxes, and it nails the feeling of London for me, being a refreshingly open and airy environment to explore. But there isn't a lot to do here once the missions are over. The world is just a shell, with only the most basic of gameplay on offer. In other words, the quality of Legion's world sits slap bang between the excellent, convincing, living, breathing world of GTA 5 and that of Cyberpunk's.